What's up? What's up? Good morning. We got a lot of stuff to go over today, so I'm about to start it right away. But if you're in the call right now, say what's up in the chat. See, this thing is working. Yeah, everything looks good. Can y'all hear me? Everything looking good? What's up? What's up? We got a lot of stuff to cover today, so I'm gonna get right into it. Now, the first thing, let's go over this one first. A lot of stuff is up, a lot of stuff is down. We're gonna go over this one first. So let me get this over. All right, there we go. All right, stocks to watch. So now we're gonna go over Meta. We're gonna go over Home Depot. I'm not really looking at JD right now, but Meta, Home Depot. You guys saw that Meta actually announced their verification thing. We're gonna go over that in a second. HD and Walmart kind of fell. You guys are going to see why Home Depot actually fell because of their earnings. Home Depot, same thing, as well as Walmart. So we're going to go over that as well. There's nothing, I mean, these things are just telling us the same thing that we already know. And it's something about Putin. So we're about to go over let's go over Meta first. I want to go over Meta first. All right, so Meta verification. If you guys don't know already, who else has verification? Twitter. Twitter also put out their verification for, I think it was like $5, $8 or something like that. So now Meta, Instagram and Facebook, they're also doing this for $15 a month. This week is being tested in Australia and New Zealand, right? So they are going to be announcing verification. 9 billion. So let's go into the numbers. So Meta's actually up. If you guys could look right here, Meta is actually up today, which, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because they could make a lot of money from this, right? So Meta is coming up right now. We're gonna go over the levels and everything after all the news and everything, but right now, $15 a month. Now we're gonna go over the numbers. Investors could consider a $15 and accumulate up to 179 of annual revenue. RPU 39, 206. I want the real numbers. Meta has 2.96 billion monthly active users, 90% according to assuming worldwide span. That's only if it's 100%, so that number I don't care about. Let's see. More than 50 million people globally consider themselves influencers. Assuming that these 50 million influencers would pay the $15 a month, this would open a market opportunity close to $9 billion without adding any material cost considerations. So potentially they could add another $9 billion worth of revenue for their bottom line, which is pretty big, honestly, especially for Meta, which is why they're up right now. $9 billion is pretty huge, honestly. But they are starting to do their verifications and potentially could add another $9 billion, depending on how many people sign up. Right now, it's assuming 50 million people would sign up out of their 2.96 billion monthly users. It's pretty sick. So that's why they're up this morning. Now let's take a look at Home Depot. Get this one right here. Now, you guys are going to see this in a second. The reason why Wall Street, if you guys look at this right quick, right, the reason why we came down quite a bit right now is because, let me get this one up. We're pretty much flat, right? Like I said last week as well. If earnings were so great last year, and it keeps going up and going up, Wall Street is going to continue to expect an increase in growth the way that it did. Now, obviously, this did increase as well by only 0.3. If you keep growing by 4% every single year and then you just slow down to 0.3%, investors are going to look at you a little bit differently, right? People are going to be looking at you a little bit differently, which is why it slid. Even though revenue is up, we're not growing as fast as we were, which means that investors are not looking to invest in your company as actively anymore. Now, Same thing here, cost of sales. Again, gross profit is literally the same. Let's see, fiscal year ended. So 3 months ended. 3.8%. So it's literally about the same. Operating income 4.7, 4.8. So it's flat. Like the earnings are flat, and I think that's the reason why Wall Street is not okay with these numbers, which is why we're down pre-market. Yeah, it's literally the same. Nothing crazy here. 7.6, 76, 76, 71. Yeah, so HD is pretty much flat. It says Home Depot missed Wall Street's revenue expectations for the first time since November 2019. Right, so they missed because they're not up as much as they should be. Percentage-wise, they should always increase by a certain amount compared to their previous years, so they see a continued growth. If you don't see that continued growth, Wall Street, it's just not going to look good for your stock, which is why it's down right now. But guidance, again, flat compared to fiscal 2022 for 2023. So, I mean, guidance isn't really that crazy either. HD kind of, it's just flattening out, and that's not really a good sign for investors if it's just flat. If we take a look at Walmart right here as well, Walmart also announced earnings. Let's take a look at their stock right now. 150, 139, 139. We'll go over the levels in a second. But right now, Walmart also did slip. Even though the revenue was up 7.3% globally, 8.3%, e-commerce growth of 17%. E-commerce is killing it. Let's see. Revenue, 7.3%. That's good. A lot better than HD. 7.9. Operating income, it's down a little bit. 6.3%. 4.9. Free cash flow, 12.2. Guidance. Net sales of 605.9 billion. 24.6. Increase of 2.5 to 3%. Forward looking revenue 1.6, 1 point. So that's there. 6.7. Operating income, same thing with HD. It's also down. 500. It's literally doubled almost. 76%. I wonder why it's down. Assets are the same. Liabilities are the same. 29, 17. Oh, wow. For investing activities. I wonder what those were. It looks like it was payments for property and equipment. So I guess it was just properties. 17, about the same. Consolidated. Yeah, I mean, Walmart's definitely earnings looks better than HD for sure. We're excited about our momentum from the CEO. I think this earnings is fine. I wonder why Wall Street reacted like that. I would probably say it's because I think it might be because the interest rates, the whole talk with that now, again, because the retail sales, CPI, PPI, like they were all good, which is bad for consumers and stuff like that. Like we're not going to spend theoretically as much because now we're going to continue to increase the rates, which means that our money is more precious to us than it was a month ago. So that could also, I mean, that's for any store though. Like these earnings are fine. I think these earnings are great. I don't really see anything wrong with it. I'm trying to see if it says exactly what I just said. This text is so small though, but I think it might literally just be because of that. Like forward looking, it might be because, so I can't really find it anywhere. Let me see. Walmart stock slums as retail echoes consumer spending caution after quarter four earnings beat. Yeah, so it's literally, okay. I was about to say, because I can't really find anything bad about their earnings at all, but it's saying consumer spending caution. So, like I said, interest rates is going to continue to keep going up. All the reports came out pretty hot, which is bad for us because interest rates going to continue to keep going up. So, I mean, there's nothing Walmart can control, but that does impact Walmart quite a bit because that's how they make their money. Same thing with Amazon and stuff like that as well. So future earnings could be looking not that great for all these consumer spending driven companies. But the earnings this week, so we had Walmart and HD this morning, but we also have Coinbase after hours. Now we have Nvidia and Etsy. So I'm literally just saying the ones that I'm actually caring about. Everything else is just irrelevant. But like Nvidia and Lucid, Wednesday after hours is very important because I do trade Nvidia. So Nvidia with that extra momentum from earnings should make a nice Thursday. Moderna and Baba Thursday morning. And that's pretty much it. Like the biggest ones that I'm looking at is Baba, Moderna, Nvidia, and maybe Coinbase probably. I don't know. But I really want to see how all these earnings come out this week. I'm glad that Nvidia is actually reporting earnings this week. Get some more volume and momentum. But for the economic calendar this week, we got a lot. So we have existing home sales at 10 a.m. This is today. 9:45 PMI composite flash. FOMC minutes. It's not that crazy, but it still will impact the market at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Don't get that confused with the FOMC meeting. This is literally just going to tell us essentially what we already know, but it'll be a little bit more forward thinking. Now, GDP is the biggest one on Thursday at 8:30, so you guys are going to be ready for that. 8:30 on Thursday, I'll be here. We're going to watch it live. And then Friday, 10 o'clock, home sales. The biggest ones is GDP and FOMC minutes. Existing home sales is also important just because they calculate more home sales and stuff like that in their reports. Real estate and stuff is going to be more important. We need to really look into that from previous times. But that's pretty much it for that. Now let's go into my watch list itself. Everything else, I'm looking at the news right now. I think it's everything else. Home Depot, Walmart, Meta. Yeah, we pretty much went over everything. Real-time economics, workers' pay. Like, this is just stuff that we already know. Existing home sales. So that's for today. Today at 10 o'clock are expected to rise to an annual rate of 4.07 million. From 4.02 million, which is good. Depending on what side you're on. Auto payments are late. 9.3%. I quit. There's nothing really new here. Yeah, there's nothing really new here. Like, we already know this. Like, we know it's bad. We already know it's bad out there, so we don't really need to look at that. All right, so now let's go into the watch list. All right, so as you guys saw that, look at the chat. Move this chat over here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We went over the news. Now let's go over the watch list, but I do not stream on Twitch. That's funny. Yeah, Walmart guidance definitely offset its earnings. Like, the earnings was fine. The guidance, that's the main reason. Like, people don't understand that guidance is so important. Like, no one cares what it did last year. No one cares what it did this year. They care what's going to happen next. Like, investing is a very forward-thinking type of thing. Like, it's like chess. Like, I don't care how great of a month you had last month. As long as the next month is going to be better, that's all I care about. And if it's not, then they're selling. They don't care. So the stock market is very forward thinking, and people don't understand guidance is very important. I don't even know what that is. But for Walmart right now, that 139 area, I had this before earnings. I think it's because of this, that 139. I'm pretty sure that broke though, but let me check. Let me go back like 20 days. Yeah, 139 already broke, so that's just not there anymore. 139. The next one, pretty far away. 139, 138. Potentially, I mean, we could, if you really did want to play under that 139, we could play that if there's a nice wall, just because of that earnings momentum, and that's the only reason why I would even consider playing under 139 is that earnings momentum. But you got to be careful about this area because we already did break a couple days ago. But if I was going to get into this, I would need to know that there is a reaction here for that 139 upside. I mean, we're pretty far away from upside, but obviously that 150 area is looking nice right here, but we're pretty far away from that. And like I said, it is a Monday, so this is going to be a 5 DTE, which means 5 days till expiration because the contracts will expire on Friday because it's not SPY or SPX or anything like that. So you have to be able to, what's the opportunity cost, right? Would I rather trade Tesla today or would I rather trade Walmart? I'd rather trade Tesla today. So if Tesla's setting up better than Walmart, then I'm not going to play Walmart. I'm going to play Tesla, but this is something to note for sure. Now, for Tesla, you guys can see that we kind of made this zone right here. If you guys see the 5-minute time frame right here, kind of have this zone right here. We have a reaction right here, reaction right here, reaction right here, and then now we're also reacting at pre-market. Reacted right there, reacted right there. So I want to see what Tesla could potentially do because my downside levels, we literally, if you guys see this from Friday, we were already in this range, right? We were already in this area. So it's going to be hard for some sort of downside, right? Our next downside is not until that 196 area, like all the way down here. And that's pretty far away already. So this zone, if you guys see it right here, the zone is potentially what I'm looking at, that 204 area. But again, it's not the cleanest. Like that's the problem, is I need it to react intraday. I need some sort of reaction to play that 204 or else I wouldn't play that whatsoever. Like it looks all right, and I'm not going to trade all right. I need to trade something that's very high probability, something that's actually going to move. I'm not going to trade on a all right. So in order for me to even consider playing it under that zone, that 204 area, I need a reaction at 204, and I need to see the size of the wall at 204. Now, the next one, upside looks a lot better right now, even though it looks like it's going to continue to downside. It probably will, but the only problem with that is like, it's just we were already in this area, and that doesn't mean it's bad, but if we were already in this area and we kind of just consolidated like that, it gets rid of that 203 area. It gets rid of that 204 area unless we get a nice reaction. It literally gets rid of 202, 201. It doesn't look good. Like previous price action doesn't look good, which is why I'm probably going to consider looking at something intraday on Tesla. Like 199 looks way better. We did trade that on Friday. That was nice, that 199 area. But it's going to be a struggle to trade Tesla based off this previous price action just because, again, you guys saw it was just all consolidated and just it's disgusting. So upside, that 210, that's looking nice. That's looking decent. You guys can see reactions at that 210 about a day ago. You guys can see this right here. We had nice reactions in this 210 area. We bounced off of that, and then we came down. Broke it, retested it, continued to keep going down. So it looks good. 207, it's just the problem with any of those levels that look nice is just because we reacted weirdly on Friday at those areas. So I needed to react intraday. Like I want to see it react intraday. So now if it comes down to, or if it comes up to like, not even 407 because pre-market just destroyed 407, but if we came down to 204 and then we bounce off of there pretty hard, pretty aggressively, and there's a nice wall at 204, I'll play that to the downside because it's right under our zone as well. But if there's not a reaction there, or there's not a big wall there, then I'm not going to play it. Because you guys also got to remember, it's also 5 DTE, which means contracts are not going to expire until Friday, which means the contracts are barely going to move today. But we're going to look at HD right now. You got to remember, though, like the opportunity cost here, you're going to make like 5% on Tesla today when you would have made like 20% on Tesla on Friday. And it's just because the DTE until expiration, right? 5 DTE, which is why I'm really looking at SPY today very heavily, just because it's actually Tuesday. So it's 4 DTE, which is not as bad, but it's still pretty bad. Like 4 DTE, you'll probably make like 8% when you should have made 20% on Friday. Maybe a little bit less, honestly, maybe like 5%, but this is why I'm looking at SPY a little bit more heavily today. But right now, HD, as you guys saw, earnings were pretty flat. Wall Street doesn't like flat earnings, so Wall Street doesn't like anything flat, actually. So we're coming down to this 304 area. 304, perfect level, play continuation under there as long as it doesn't break pre-market. We still have an hour left, and it's only $1 away. So we could break this 304, but if we don't break 304, that's looking nice for a downside move. NQ, you guys saw that our zone, if you guys been here since last week, you guys seen that our zone's been back and forth, back and forth. This thing wants to work. Came up, rejected that, came back in our zone, rejected this, came back in our zone, literally just back and forth, and now we're trying to finally come out of the zone, right? We're finally able to try and come out of the zone. We got to be careful about this because as we start to go down to this bottom area of the zone, we have a very high chance of bouncing. So if we're playing puts and NQ's holding 12,156, I'm probably going to start taking profits very early because history does repeat itself. Reactions can occur. And if I start to see it react there, there's a reason why it's reacting there. And it's not just reacting there for no reason. So if I see it come down and reacting there, I'm going to start taking profits very quickly. And this is why I look at NQ for that context. Walmart, we already went over Walmart. Let's go over Meta. Like I said, these zones don't miss. You guys can see that on Friday, we were talking about how Meta was in our zone. Now it's coming out of our zone because of the verification thing that's coming out, which is awesome. I mean, our zones just continue to react, but this thing is starting to come down, bounce out of our zone. So I'm looking to play the continuation above that 178, depending on how the market really takes it. Right now it's up pre-market, not by a lot. I mean, it's a little bit, but nothing crazy. It's like $3 from the close on Friday. But I'm looking at that 178 level. You guys can see that we also had a nice reaction there a couple of days ago. Pre-market and after hours, that 178. Also right here, also right here. So it's looking nice at that 178, especially because it's bouncing out of our zone. The next one is not until that 183. That was a nice downside move under that 183. So I want to see if we get to take it back above that 183 if it gets there. I doubt it happens today. Maybe, depending on how the market is. But right now the market is pretty down. So I really want to see how that works out. Now let's take a look at SPY. 1 hour time frame, as you guys can see, reactions, rejected, rejected. Now we're coming down. We had the zone right here, bounce, bounce, came out, bounce, bounce, came down, broke out of that, retested that, and then dropped down. I'm looking for a continuation of this downside, just because, again, this is our zone and it broke under that, retested that, and now we're back down again. It's unfortunate that 404 broke. I think that's stupid, because that was one of the main levels that I was looking at. It looked so nice just for pre-market, just not care about it. So I was really looking at that 404, but depending on, I think it's just going to have to be another intraday, but depending on what's happening here, like that 402 area could set up. You guys can see we had a reaction here, but then this kind of got like, it just doesn't look that good anymore. and then we had another reaction right here. That looks good. So 402 potentially, if it wants to set up. Same thing with 403. I think today, especially because we had a 3-day weekend and the market is pretty down pre-market, and we broke these key levels, I think it's going to have to be more like today is going to be the day that we get intraday moves. Like something has to set up intraday, and then we'll take it, and then it will set up nicely for the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But right now, like from 404 to that 400 area, nothing really looks the best. So the main thing I'm looking at is that 400 level. Reaction at 398.25. You guys saw that there. Pre-market, you guys saw 400, and then down to that 398.25. So if I'm in the 400, then I know that there's a reaction at 398.25. I want to be careful about that once we start to get down there. But like I said, it's going to have to be a lot of stuff intraday, like unfortunately. Just because we broke that 404 level, that was the main thing I was looking at. And it doesn't look like 402 looks all right, but it doesn't look that good to where I would just take it without some sort of crazy reaction there. Like I need SPY to come down to 402 and bounce off of there. If it bounces off of there, then I'll take it to the downside once it gets under there. But if it doesn't really bounce and it doesn't give a clear, great reaction there, not some little bounce, like I need a real reaction there, then I'm not going to take that 402. Same thing with 403. And I'm not even considered 401. So that 403, 402, possibly 400. 400 looks the best psychological level, but I want to see that. I want to see if I get something closer, because upside 406. 406 actually does not look bad at all. We are $3 away almost. You guys can see this reactions. It actually reacted pretty well on Friday. So pre-market, we opened up under that 406. So pre-market high is going to be right under that 406, which should give us more momentum to the upside. We bounced off 406, rejected 406, bounced, and then we broke out, rejected that, broke out, kind of bounced in that area. So 406 actually does not look bad at all. I'd play 406 to the upside. I'd play 406 to the upside. Downside, I gotta be careful until that 400, potentially 403. Who knows? I need to see a react there first. And pre-market, we might start coming down to that 403 and hopefully bounce. If pre-market low is around that 403, that's looking even better. But right now is not. In the video, you guys can see this 206 area. Let's actually go to the, you guys can see it reacting on the daily, but let's look at the 1 hour. 206 looks amazing. Can't wait for this one. And potentially that 208. I want to be careful about this, but I want to see if I can anticipate this 206 break. It'd be amazing if it happens today, but that 206 area, you guys can see it reacted very well here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, you guys can see that. Reacted very well. It rejected, came back above that, bounced off of that pre-market, and then we haven't tested at 206. So 206 is looking very nice. 208 is looking decent as well. Right there. Depending on how big the wall is, with another reaction right here. Depending on how big this wall is, I might play under 208. The main thing I'm looking at though is at 206. You guys can see how nice and reactive this is. That 206 is looking nice. And then after that 206, I want to see if we can take this all the way down to that 200. 200 is the next level that looks really nice as well. What was that? 202, my fault. 202 is looking really nice. So I want to see if we could even possibly get down there from that 206, have some sort of runners down to that 202. So I'm looking at that 208, 206, 202. Main thing right here is that 206. Like I'm really looking at this 206. That is the most important level that I'm looking at. 230 to the upside. It's not going to hit today. There's no way unless news comes out. So we're $20 away from that. I don't really have another upside level. Everything else will take care of it. Like if we start coming up, especially on a Tuesday, then I would just trade SPY. Downside, a lot of these levels are looking better than SPY. 206, 196, potentially on Tesla. Tesla's going to be a little difficult today. Meta, Nvidia, HD, Walmart. We already went over Walmart. We pretty much went over everything that I'm looking at for the watch list itself. Like right now, HD just went under 304, but it's still holding. Like it just makes it not look as great. NQ's falling. SPY. This is the main thing. I want to see if we can get closer to that 403 to make it look good. But if we start to go up, that 406 is looking nice for the upside right there. What are you guys looking at for today? Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys looking at anything new today? Or are y'all just watching what I'm watching? Meta's looking good. Airbnb, what has earnings this week? Baba. I used to have long term in Baba until it got crazy high, and then I sold that. But that was a nice bag on Baba. Starting to come up. I think I sold it around here. But this thing's starting to come down again. I think earnings is this week on Baba. Yeah, Baba and Moderna. 160. We're still watching that. Oh wow, 160 still did not break yet. Watching that 160 on Moderna. Again, earnings is about to come out in 2 days, Thursday morning. So I'm watching that 160 area to the downside. You guys saw a very nice reaction there at that 160 area. Baba, Coinbase is also. Dude, I haven't traded this thing in so long. That was from a while ago. It's not even from now. Technically, nothing really even looks good on Coinbase. Honestly. I like Coinbase. It doesn't matter how great the earnings are. I probably wouldn't even trade Coinbase. It doesn't even look that good. And it's a $60 stock. So that's just weird. Nvidia, 206 is the most important key level for me, honestly. I'm looking at that. It's looking good. Let's see what it did. The reason why I'm not really heavily on that 210, just because there's better opportunities out there. Like, you have to realize that there's opportunity cost when you're trading. Would you rather trade Tesla or Nvidia when it gets down there? And it depends. But like I wouldn't even trade 210 for me personally. Like, you'll trade 210 into yesterday's low to get a continuation there. It might be very nice, but for me, just because of that reaction on Friday, like, it doesn't make it look that great. But if you were gonna trade that 210 though, because there's just better stuff to trade. Like, I'm not gonna. This was like an all right setup, but there's definitely other stocks out there to trade when Nvidia gets down there. Like, probably Tesla might actually set up better, but if you were going to trade this 210, I would definitely be careful about this. That 209.75. So if you are under that 210, be careful about that 209.75 because you could get caught up in there, just like Friday. People got puts, started bouncing, came back up. If 210 does start react, like right now I wouldn't take it, but if it does start reacting there, because technically that 1 hour does look really nice for that 210, but the way it is right now, I wouldn't take it just yet. I would need this thing to come down to that 210 and react with a nice wall at 210. So it's either, if the wall is not there at 210, I'm not taking it whatsoever. And depending on what the other stocks that I'm watching is doing. You know, I'd rather trade, for example, if SPY is at the 400 level or something like that, even though it won't be when Nvidia is down at 210. If there's something setting up better, I'll take that. But 210, it looks decent. You guys can see this on the 1 hour. Yeah, right here. Like, it looks decent, right? It looks decent, but I'm not going to trade off decent. I'm going to trade off something that's very high probability. It looks really nice, like 206. 206 is like the best key level for today. But you could, depending on how intraday, it depends on how like it sets up intraday. right? Today is probably going to be a lot of stuff setting up intraday, and then we'll get nice reactions hopefully today, and then for the rest of the week it will set up for the rest of the week. All right, so if Nvidia starts coming down to that 208 and starts to bounce today, it's going to look good for tomorrow. But I think today is just going to make stuff set up for the rest of the week, and we might be able to catch a little bit of trades today. We'll see, but potentially. Nvidia, yeah, we went over that 206 already, 210. Today, I mean, it looks decent today. I wouldn't say it looks slow, but again, we have GDP this Thursday. So you guys know how news is. Like, the market likes to wait for it at random times. Maybe it won't even wait for it today. Maybe it will. Who knows? But we also have FOMC minutes tomorrow. So I'd be careful about that. Yeah, Nvidia's earnings is also tomorrow tomorrow. Are you guys able to hear me? Live stream offline. It came back? All right, we're good. All right, perfect. Yeah, so I think Thursday is going to be great because we have GDP, Netflix, or Nvidia earnings is after hours on Wednesday, which means we're not going to be able to trade it until Thursday. I think Thursday, especially after FOMC minutes the day after, so it's going to look good. FOMC minutes on Wednesday, Nvidia earnings Wednesday after hours, Thursday morning GDP. I think Thursday is going to look very nice. I think Thursday is going to be great, hopefully. The market likes to do the stuff that is not expected. The market is very unexpected, but Thursday, one of the most volatile days this week, hopefully. And it's 2 days before DTE, unless you trade SPY, then it's every day. But let's see, Netflix. Let's look at Netflix. So that 345 already broke, but I'm telling you right off the bat, that 340, depending on how that 340 is looking good. 340 is looking good to that downside. 345 already broke. That was what I was watching last week. 340 is looking good. Upside. I don't even know about upside. There's probably going to be people playing at 350, but there's going to be a lot of stuff better than Netflix though. Like, if you're really considering trading something to the upside and there's something going to the upside, chances are like SPY is probably going to look better than Netflix, or Tesla's going to look better. Like, Tesla will look better than Netflix to the upside. You guys see this 210. That's my main thing that I'm looking at, is that 210 to the upside on Tesla, that 206 to the downside on Nvidia. Like, these are like the biggest things that I'm looking at. Netflix 340 looks decent, but the problem is you have to opportunity cost. Like, I keep saying that because it's very important. If SPY is about to break something that you've been waiting for, that 403, and Netflix is about to break something that's like all right, like you just discovered this level, like it doesn't look the best, then it's like you would rather trade SPY to the downside than Netflix. So I think Netflix isn't really going to be that crazy today. Like, I think I probably wouldn't even touch this. And spreads. So the spreads and the contracts volume today, especially because it's a Tuesday, it might not even be there. That's why I didn't trade Netflix last time, because this spread was way too, I think it was like a 5% spread, which is, I mean, that 5% is pretty huge. And especially for your sell as well. So if you get a 5%, you're going to be down 5%, depending if you get the worst sell or the worst buy. And then when you're selling, another 5%. So it's like, it's just not worth it. And the volume's not there to even support like liquidity as fast. Like, when I get in, the reason why I'm able to sell and buy almost instantly is because the contract's liquidity, the volume. And Netflix just didn't have that last time. Netflix, now you're good. You cut out for a second, lagging just. Yeah, I don't know why it was lagging. They're trying to shut us down. Lagging just for a second, y'all good. Okay, how old I look? Some people are spot on. Some people have. Some people think Totally different. But how old do I look? What ticker are you focused on at open? I'm really looking at, I want to look at SPY heavily more today, just because it is 5 DTE or 4 DTE, because it's a Tuesday. I keep thinking today's Monday, but today is 4 DTE, which means the contracts are not going to move as much. SPY's contract's going to move, but depending on how the price action is on SPY. So I'm really looking at SPY, and then following SPY, depending on what Tesla's doing. Right now it's in our zone, so this could definitely bounce. NQ's also in our zone because the market could definitely bounce. That 210 level, that's a second. And then third, like literally going down a list, like SPY, Tesla, NVIDIA, 206. Like 206, potentially 210, depending on how pre-market is. But those three are my main watch. They always are, but those three are my main watch as well today. Is this Think or Swim? Yes, sir. This is Think or Swim, but I don't execute off of Think or Swim. I execute off of DAS. This morning briefing is really valuable. It's my third day in a row. Thursday was my first day doing this, and then I just didn't stop yet. Continue to keep going. 20, 19, I'm 20. 16? Jeez. Can't even drive a car at 16. We got those Vegas alerts today? Yeah. Man, Vegas. Can't wait for those. Great job, Lander. Hit that like button. Yeah, if you're not already, hit that like button. Is it anyone's third day here? Anyone new here? Got any new people in this call right now? If you guys have another ticker you're looking at as we start to approach the end of this, how old? I'm 20. New. Let's go. Yeah, we pretty much went over the entire S&P 500 at this point. Amazon, that already broke. See, the only thing that sucks about pre-market is that it doesn't care about levels. Microsoft, it doesn't care. Like, pre-market does not care about levels at all. Coming down to this area, yeah, that 251. Like, I would rather just trade, like, that upside looks good, though. You guys can see that upside looks nice. But I would rather trade, like, Tesla or something. Or SPY. But that 259 area looks amazing. A nice breakdown under that. We were talking about that on Friday. That was looking good. Microsoft has upside. Yeah. I mean, hopefully the market starts to bounce a little bit. But yeah, we are in this area. We did react here previously. Remember reactions and stuff like that. Market likes to repeat itself. So we did kind of react here. But this has been coming down pretty heavily. NQ's at our zone right now. Literally depending on what NQ does today. Like, we're in the zone right now. And this thing could just break under that. Or it could bounce. Right now, it looks pretty weak. You guys can see this. It looks pretty weak. But again, the market could literally change. So I'm not really trying to predict. We have the zone here. So if it reacts, then we react to that as well. We don't try and predict or anything like that. There's no point. Predicting is stupid. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to give you bias and stuff like that. You have to react to what you see. Meta. So right now we're in the zone. We've had this zone here for I don't even know how long, but right now we're bouncing off of that. The reason why it's up pre-market is the verification thing. That 178 is what I'm looking at to the upside. Downside, possibly under that zone, but we're pretty far away from that. By the time it gets down there, it's going to be exhausted. So upside, that 178. What would you do with a NVIDIA swing trade? I wouldn't. Y'all are crazy for swinging nowadays. But NVIDIA, you're in a what? 225 call? When did you get in there? Down 35%. 317. You got about a month. I mean, if you don't know, like, like, why'd you get in if you don't know like what to do with it? But what was the reason for getting in? Like that's a very good lesson, honestly. Like if you, because when people are like, oh, should I stop out here or should I, like, if you're asking if you should stop out at a certain area, then you didn't have a plan to begin with, and you shouldn't even be in the trade in the first place. Like if you didn't have the plan to begin with, then why are you trading? Like why are you in it if you don't have the plan? Like you shouldn't ask me what your stop loss should be and stuff like that, or like what your plan should be. Like the reason why you got in is because you saw something, or hopefully your plan was there. Your enter plan or your exit plan. Got in a video right before the market went to crap on Friday. What was your reason for getting in? Earnings anticipation. Are you selling before earnings? Do you think we have a chop nasty till flash PMI? Hopefully not. I don't think the market is going to care about PMI as much as FOMC minutes and GDP, and the market could definitely wait for GDP like it usually does. It literally will wait. Sometimes it takes a whole week to wait for GDP. So we'll see. Today, it doesn't look that great today, if I'm going to be honest, but it definitely could make setups very nice for the following like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I think today's more so like setups. Like you're going to see my recap. I'm probably going to take like 2 trades. Not even. I could be wrong. Like this is why we don't predict. Just react. But I'm just keeping it real. Like this, it just doesn't look that great. The only thing that looks that great is NVIDIA today. Like for a downside level, but it's still far away. It's still $4 away. NQ is already bouncing off Friday's lows. Yeah, so NQ is in our area right now. Like this is our reacting zone. The reason why we have the zone here is because it's very reactive. We hopefully could get another bounce off of here. Who knows? But this is just literally from market context. We did bounce off of there again. We did bounce off of there again on Friday, which was very, very helpful when we were in our trades to be able to get out where we were supposed to. But right now, we're kind of coming down in this area. It still kind of looks weak. We'll see, though. So the market wants to do Lucid. Lucid. I haven't heard that name in so long. That's crazy. Where's that from? This is from so long ago, like a year ago almost. $10 stock. You guys trade options on that, or you guys trade equity on that? $10 crazy. Lucid is amazing long-term stock. Once they start pumping out cars, it will moonshot. Oh, I thought you were day trading that. Y'all talking about long-term. Pretty new to trading. If you're new to trading, definitely don't just get into stuff just to get into stuff though. Like if you're new, I would definitely sit back and just like, you could make mistakes. This is how you learn. Like that swing trade, depending on what you consider that, you can consider that a mistake. Like you learn from that. The only way you're going to be able to learn is from your mistakes. So definitely embrace your mistakes for sure. Like, especially at first. But it's okay to make mistakes at first. That's literally how you learn. But it's also good to learn from other people's experiences. Like, definitely don't just start swinging stuff. Earnings anticipation. Like, earnings is like gambling. It is. So, I would definitely, definitely don't do that. For sure. I would just sit back and just 7K position if you're new. Y'all are wildin'. Literally just keep it one contract at a time, not financial advice. Literally just keep it slow and steady. Like there's just no reason just to YOLO money like that. You're going to eventually lose that unless you're very lucky, but it's just not worth it to put all your money in just the one egg and stuff like that, especially renew. Once you start to get more experience, then maybe 7K positions. But I know people that have been trading for 2 years that don't even put a 7K position yet. It's pretty nuts. And swinging now, dude, you guys are crazy. Y'all are insane. Equities for Lucid. I'll give them 1 year. What's up, Lana? What's good? Either season a swing could log in for an hour. Yeah, like, I'm not really into swinging just because I can make that percentage in like 5 minutes, not even. Like, there's no point in me swinging it overnight and this and that. Like, it's just not worth the lack of sleep that I'm gonna get if I start swinging. Like, it's just not me. But if that's you, then it's you, right? Like, I can't tell you how you're gonna react, right? If you're a great swinger or if you're a great scalper, like there's different strategies for a reason. That's just not my forte. Like, I'm very good long term. Like, it's just if you take the emotions out of long term, you'll do great. But I'm just not a swinger, honestly. What are your thoughts on indicators? Me personally, I don't like indicators. You guys can see my chart's pretty naked, right? For a reason. I don't really... The reason... What are indicators? Indicators are going off of previous price action. They're lagging indicators. Why would I... The way that I trade, I need to see real-time data, and the only way they're going to be able to do that is with the level 2 and time and sales. So, if I already have enough information from the level 2 and time and sales, why would I need indicators? Like, why would I make my chart just full of lines and stuff like that? Like, I already am able to execute my plan just with time and sales and level 2, and that takes up all of your attention. So I have no other attention to be able to look at EMAs and stuff like that. But it's not going to help me execute the plan at all. But I mean, if you make money with indicators, I can't really bash on indicators if you're making money on indicators, but there's definitely... The way that I trade, I don't really need indicators at all. And it's lagging. Like, the way that I trade, I need to see real-time data right now so I can see what's happening in real time. I want to see if the buyers are imbalanced in the sellers are imbalanced in the buyers, how big the wall is here, where are these orders being waited to execute. Because the main thing, the reason why stocks move is if people are buying it more than they're selling it, or if people are selling it more than they're buying it. That's the only way that we're going up and down. It's literally like an auction. And the only way that I'm going to be able to see if buyers are stronger than sellers are at a certain area, if I'm playing puts under the 210, I need to see if there's a huge wall there. Why? Because if that breaks, in order to be able to break that, you need so many sellers to break that wall that once that wall breaks, those sellers could fly down. And if it doesn't, that's how you know you're wrong right away, and that's when I get out of the trade. And time of sales, you're able to see how fast are these buyers or sellers coming in. The bid and ask, like, those are the most important thing. Once you already look at the time of sales on level 2, you're not going to be able to have time to look at any indicators, nor would you want to. So that's why I don't look at indicators, and you probably want to start looking at real time. I wouldn't call them indicators, but you want to look at real time data, like level 2, time and sales. Those are the most important things. Are you using DAS for time and sales? Yeah, I'm using DAS for time and sales. DAS time and sales... Even though I'm not sponsored, but I would say DAS time of sales is pretty good, honestly. I really like DAS time of sales. But DAS is also good for other stuff as well. I brought the account from 3,500 to 7,100 and then got into a 7K position on NVIDIA. That is crazy. I'm long on NQ right now. Do you trade 0DTE? Yeah. But it's only, so for SPY it's every day, but for like NVIDIA, Tesla, like all the big companies out there, it's only on Fridays that is 0DT, but I will as long as you keep it, as long as you can manage your risk. 210 reacting somewhat on NVIDIA. Now, my only problem with this is we broke under that already. Like, it's just not making 210 look the best. Like I said, I need to see a reaction at that 210. It doesn't make it look the best though. Let's see. Indicator is good to show market direction, not current momentum. Yeah. Like this thing, all indicators that I have is all custom. Like this is custom. that current momentum thing, that's all custom. Anything that you guys see on my screen in the indicators or anything, it's all custom. These VWAP, I think I have it on my chart, but I don't really look at it. Like I don't have time to look at lines on my chart. I'm not even looking at if I'm gonna be real, I don't even look at my chart when I'm trading for the most part. Literally, you have your time of sales, and that's how you execute. Like time of sales will allow you to execute. You don't even really need to look at your chart. Like your chart is showing you what time of sales is gonna tell you a second before. Like time of sales is real time. Your chart's delayed compared to your time of sales. How do you see the wall? Bookmap. I use Bookmap for level 2. Yeah. Bookmap for level 2. It's pretty great. Good. Can you make a video? I leave all that stuff to my chat though. For like time of sales and stuff. I'll leave it all to my chat. We go through time of sales like crazy in my chat, but you gotta leave something in my chat room. But no, I'm not gonna make a YouTube video, like a public YouTube video about time of sales, but I already made videos about that in my chat. Bro, it's finna blindfold Tesla play? No, that's crazy. Are you using tasks for time of sales? Yeah. Join us. What time is it right now? 2:11. Oh, bet. Gotta get to chat. Anyone have any last minute questions? Anything you're looking at? Any important news? Just the home sales and PMI composite today. Everything else like Meta, HD, and Walmart we went over earlier. You on tomorrow? Hopefully. You guys want to see me on tomorrow? Should I be on here tomorrow? I think this is 3 days in a row, which is not anything crazy, but too much free game on this chat for so can you show what call and put walls look like? I don't even look at call and put walls. I don't even look at call and put walls. Is Vegas up today? Oh, no way. Vegas did it. That's great. Yeah, I'll probably be here tomorrow again at 8 a.m. Eastern. Starts at 8:15. We'll see. But make sure you guys join the free server as well. I have a free server in my YouTube descriptions. Just for people just to talk, like all the like-minded individuals on YouTube. If you're not ready to join the chat room, just join there. It's free. But that being said, I'll see you guys for my recap, 2 o'clock p.m. I'll see you guys there. Peace.